Hi guys, welcome to this new video. As the title says, I've passed my driving test. Yay! This is my pass certificate. Wait, it's actually a copy of it, a photocopy of it. My instructor suggested getting a photocopy of it so I can keep it in the car with me until I actually get my actual license through. My actual test certificate, I did say to my instructor, he said to me to frame it, but I've stuck it in my safe at home. But there's a photograph he took of me standing in front of the car I've been learning in with my test certificate, and that's going to be framed because I from my point of view, I feel I'd rather do that. To me, as he said, the original pass certificate I've got, if I lose it, I'm never going to get it again. Never get a replacement. So I've decided to stick it in my safe so I know it's always going to be okay. Before I go, I want to go through the story of from beginning to end of me starting to learn to drive and to pass him. And before I go through that story, because obviously I'm going to send a link of this video to my instructor, I want to pass on to my instructor the biggest thank you in the world. To yourself, Paul Conquest. At some points when I was learning, I didn't think I was going to be able to eventually get it and do it, but he's just been absolutely fantastic to me, Paul. I couldn't have asked for a better instructor than yourself. The feeling that I have now that I've passed, and of course I decided to choose the uttermost best place to get it right to do this video, is where I began, where you first brought me to the small road in Pease Pottage. I thought this kind of suited it best. But a massive thank you to you, Paul. You've been absolutely brilliant to me. It's going to obviously change my life being able to drive. So if I take myself back to last April, I think it was either March or April, might have been May, one of the 3 months, not 100% sure on the top of my head, was when I first met my instructor. I actually had him come and do a home visit, which you can do with a majority of instructors, as long as you're not too far away from where they live. I actually got in touch with him via email when I decided I wanted to start learning. He came around at a date that we was both able to suit each other with. I got to know him, and unfortunately at that point he had a long waiting list. But one of the things I said to him that I wanted key was an instructor that I was happy with, and I straight away knew that he was calm. He was ever so polite. He explained things, even though obviously at the home visit he was only going through the stuff to do with the driving lessons, and like you can do either weekly or more intensive courses and stuff like that. He was explaining everything to me. I just felt at ease with him. And of course, if you're spending up to an hour a week, or sometimes 2 if you choose to do 2 hours a week or whenever, you want to be comfortable with the instructor that's teaching. You don't want somebody who's just going to suddenly go, oh, well, I didn't tell you to do that, I didn't tell you to do this, oh, you've done that wrong. You need somebody that's just going to be calm with you. If you do something wrong, you're learning. This whole idea of being a learner. I must admit, even though I've passed now, I'm still learning. I'm still learning new little things. But as I said, I had him round for a home visit, and I told him, yeah, please put me on your waiting list. Once obviously he left me, it was the fact of just getting my theory sorted out, because I hadn't done the theory. I was looking into it and doing a bit of research on the theory, but I hadn't yet done it. So I expected I think there was about a year on the waiting list for Paul himself. The amount of people that were trying to get him to teach him, I said, yeah, I'll just wait in the waiting list. I don't want to be jumping from instructor to instructor. So I got the theory test sorted out, which my recommendation, no joke, it's completely down to yourselves if you want to do this, but this was my way of doing it. I read about 3 or 4 pages of the highway code and got fed up reading it. So what I done is I had no, those are the other two. I had the stuff to do with the theory test products. I haven't actually bought that slot out in the car, I should have done that. But I bought some theory test products, all the stuff to pass your test the first time, especially the theory. And I put it in and it comes up with, there's about 14 or 15 mock tests. And I thought, well, a lot of driving is, number one, common sense, and number two, safety. And hopefully making the right decisions. Right, you're not always going to make 100% the right decisions, but you do hope to. So I thought, well, I'm not going to read any more of this highway code through, so I decided just to go straight to the mock test and go through the questions. Majority of them I knew. I straight away knew, which was quite interesting. So I'd done all the mock tests, but the answers that I got wrong, I just went through the little description which told me, oh, this is why you've got that wrong, you got this wrong. And I slowly started learning more and more of the things that I didn't know. Now, I went to do my theory test, I think it was either end of January to the beginning of February of, just lock the doors, of this year, and I passed it first time. It's interesting actually when I think about it, because the theory test itself, especially on the hazard clips, I unfortunately had the hazard clips on my disc DVD that I had weren't terrific quality. They're a bit like watching an old video cam footage in 4x3. Well, they're very hard to spot hazards at a really long distance. And I was fortunate that when I went to do the test, I was fortunate that the actual screen that I was looking at was really, really of high quality. And I passed it with outstanding results, and it was really, really surprising. Now, it's totally up down to yourselves what you want to do when it comes to theory tests, because I think some people maybe fail the theory test because they try to, if you're thinking of learning to drive and you got to take your theory, or you haven't done it yet, just go through the mock test. Just literally go through the mock test. All the mock tests, because most discs have about 50 most editions of the mock test have about 50 questions. Just go through all of them and see what you get wrong, and which ones you do get right, learn about them. And then hopefully when you go and take your theory test, you'll pass it with quite outstanding results, because I was actually better on the hazard clips than I was at home, because the quality of the image that I was looking at wasn't that great. So that's the theory test. I passed that in, I think it was end of January to February it was. I passed that. So I then started doing my driving lessons on April the 26th, and I spent 8 months with Paul doing driving lessons, so about 35 hours worth of driving lessons. I had quite a lot of practice with my dad as well at home, although if I'm being totally honest, the easier thing with Paul's vehicle, where it was a Mini Cooper Type D, was the fact that it was diesel and not a petrol, because apart from this fact that it was handy having the indicators on the side of the steering wheel with both cars, same side, left hand side, with a diesel, because the torque it's got behind it, it's much easier when you bring it up. You don't have to worry about stalling. And when I first started driving my dad's car, which is a Kia Rio petrol, the amount of times I'd stall it because I wasn't putting enough gas down as I lifted the clutch. Of course, in Paul's car, I never stalled it once at all. They're very hard to stall, a diesel. But as I said, I've done about 35 hours worth of driving lessons. When I got to the point towards the end, I think I'm probably talking near November time, I was starting to get to the point where I was feeling I've learnt as much as I could. And the way then Paul was doing it with me, he was kind of just trying to go take me around different places that possibly I would have on the test, which is a great thing, because some of the places Paul took me around I haven't done on the test, but then again it's great for my own home driving. I'm able to go around my own town and I know exactly where I'm going, and I know the routes and everything and how the roads work. When it comes to the driving test, he then told me roughly when to book it. I tried to book the earliest one I possibly could because I couldn't wait to do it. I would say when I got up to nearing about a week before the test, I wouldn't say it was nerves. I didn't get nervous about the test. Might have been a touch nervy on the test, but I think I got agitated more than anything, because I got to the point where I'd really always loved driving. I'd waited every week to like get in the car with Paul. I'd wait in the bedroom and just wait for him to turn up on the driving. Yeah, my next driving lesson. So to have my test come out, I was thinking, yes, I just want to get there, really want to pass it, and then yes, done. No more lessons, just always learning, of course, but I'm there. I don't have to wait for other people. I can just go out on my own. But obviously I had the test day come round. Paul had already spoke to me about would I want him in the car or not, and I was sort of making that decision in the back of my mind for about a week or so. He told me all the information I needed to know about what would happen on the test day and everything, like going into the test centre, obviously what I'd have to do in there, and then go into the car and all that lot. I had him in the back of the car. I decided to. Whether it would have made any difference not having him there, I don't know. It's a question I'll never know. But then again, I preferred it at some points where I could look in my rearview mirror and I saw him, and then I thought, well, what would he have told me to do? So it helped out for me. I know he couldn't say nothing to me, because in test conditions, your instructor can't say nothing to you at all. But seeing him there might remind you of this and that you might have accidentally forgotten. And also that it's great for the instructor, because if you do pass your test, they're there and they're really pleased for you. Obviously, unfortunately, if you fail it, they're more addressed to probably... I know some instructors have these cameras in their car, but it's probably easier if they're in the back and they can see saw where you go wrong. But no, I passed the test. Yeah, I'm really happy about it. Big thumbs up to Paul for teaching me. The way I was taught was using LDC's LD system, which is I've got to get this, student-centered approach. So in other words, instead of being, from what I've heard about a lot of driving instructors, they tend to talk and spend most of the lesson actually telling you what to do, and then you get to the point where you have a practice run yourself. So the way I wanted it was using LDC's LD system, which is they call it student centered or something. I think that's right, is it? Where is it? Actually, if I read it, yeah, basically the LD system is especially designed to make learning to drive quick, effective and a fun process. The system puts you at the centre of the process, giving you the resources, this workbook and the accompanying video and the means to direct your own training. So it's like I'd spend every week with Paul. I would only spend a short amount of time, maybe 10 minutes or so, just literally having a quick briefing of what we're going to do, and then it'd be more of the fact that we just do the driving, and that would be it. And that's what I loved. Of course, there's a DVD you can get, 3 discs. The first disc is like introduction, basic skills and maneuvers, and you've got 2 other discs in there, which are road skills, traffic skills, driving test, motorway driving and pass plus. And there's also a bit on the back that shows you that. Obviously the idea is you watch the DVD, you look at what the lesson's actually going to be about, and then you go into the driving skills workbook, and in the workbook, if I go towards the end, you have different pages showing you all the information about particular lessons. And then on some of the lessons, if I find it, you would have at the bottom little quizzes. So you sort of read the DVD, then you read the book, and then you do the quiz to see what have you learned. And then in the back, you obviously get the answers to them, and then you have a quick look at the answers, think, oh, did I get it right? I found that brilliant. Not only the fact that you can write down in here, obviously, a log of each driving lesson, and also it's like as a master progress chart. I haven't ticked all the boxes yet. You get a section which to do with, go 1 page back. These pages sort of show you the parts where you have to cross off each bit you've done. So getting moving, gears, steering, coordination, emergency stop, straight line reverse, and there's quite a few things. I'm not going to read them all out. But as you can see, you sort of mark them off with your instructor as you do them. And I've particularly found that way of doing it absolutely brilliant, to be able to watch something on how something's done, and then obviously sort of write down to see if I've understood what it is, and then do it straight in lesson after about 10 minutes of learning. It's brilliant. When it comes to, I'm going to end this video because I'm slowly running out of things to say. When it comes to L plates, I would recommend magnetic ones, the L plates, because they are bloody brilliant if you want to take them off. Especially if you're driving in a friend's car where they don't want to keep the L plates on all the time, magnetic ones are brilliant. You can get them on Amazon. If I remember, I'll leave a link in the description below where I got mine. But they're absolutely brilliant just for peeling off. If you get the ones that stick straight on, they're a little bit of a nuisance to take off. I would definitely recommend trying to learn as much as you can before getting behind the wheel, so you understand what you're going to be doing. Don't just get behind the wheel of a car and just go, because you're going to be going completely lost. You're not going to have a clue what you're doing. Even Paul, my instructor, said, wow, you've really done your own work before doing it. Of course, if you don't do your own work, you're not going to know nothing. It's like walking into a room and not knowing what's in there. If you do your homework about what's going to be in the room, you'd be better off when you're in there. I would definitely recommend LDC, Learner Driver Centres, for anyone wishing to learn to drive in a comfortable and easy manner. The other thing I would say about LDC is, because they're student centred, every person has a different way of driving, or learns slightly differently. Not everyone doesn't learn the same way to drive, even though you drive the same sort of way in the end. Everyone has a different way of catching on to it, and LDC, I think, are fantastic for that. And of course, my instructor Paul Conquest, he was just absolutely brilliant, obviously teaching me. I'm at the moment not sure if I'm going to do Pass Plus. I'm I'm rattling it in the back of my mind. I think I'm just getting into the role of just driving at the moment, and then maybe in a few months' time I'll make my mind up what I'm going to do. Because you have up to a year within your first year of driving as a fully UK qualified driver to decide to get Pass Plus if you want to do it. I probably will in the end for the experience. For the side of insurance, I don't know if I'm going to bother for that, because there's not enough insurance companies that do Pass Plus from what I've looked online. And being the fact that when you go to look for insurance, once you've passed your test, you're looking for the cheapest possible insurance you can get. The only reason for doing Pass Plus for me would be the experience of doing it, not really the fact, oh, I might get 40 quid of me insurance. I'd rather have the experience behind me than worry about, oh, I'm only going to do Pass Plus to get both the experience and the money off insurance. But that's totally up to what anyone wants to do. It depends who your insurance is with, or who you decide to go with. But that is my video done. It feels nice that I've actually done this video where I started off from, because if I hadn't, I don't know, it just feels nice that I've done it where I started off driving. Of course, I'm in my car that my dad's given to me, although he's the legal owner of the car, but I'm insured to drive it as a main driver. But no, that's it. If you've enjoyed watching this video, sorry if I've gone on a little bit, but I've tried to explain the story of me doing my... Okay guys, I'm sorry I've had to jump to a bit in my room. I unfortunately didn't realise that the camera had stopped recording in the car, which is aggravating. I've only just noticed it whilst I was editing the actual video on my computer. So I'm going to have to end the video here and now. Just a couple of things I wanted to put in the end of it. This is the driving test complete, which has the theory on it that I got. It's actually from LDC, which you can see in the top right hand corner. This is what I done my theory test, learnt it off, and on this disc is where you get all the 14 and 15 mock tests for doing the theory, which I went completely through all of them and just learnt them instead of going through the highway code. I just learnt what I needed to know, because most of it, as I said, I knew. But that's what I got. This is my actual original driving certificate, pass certificate. As you can see on the bottom right hand corner, the like what you call it, emblem thing for the DVSA. Obviously in the photocopy it don't look that good, because obviously it's a photocopy of it. But this is what stays in my safe all the time. That's just my what the examiner was marking down whilst I was driving. Obviously I only got one minor fault. If you've got any questions at all about whether it be when you decide to start learning, taking your lessons, doing the driving test itself, or the theory side of it, put a comment below. I'll hopefully try and answer them, or send me a message via Twitter. That is in the description below, and let me know. I've immensely enjoyed learning to drive, and now I've got the freedom where I can go out when I want to, which is absolutely brilliant. That's the side of independence that I've always wanted. So for all you guys that either are roughly just about to get to the point where you're going to pass your test, or you're about to start learning to drive, good luck with it. I hope you all do well, and thank you for watching my video, and click on that subscribe button for my next video that I'm going to put on. And thank you guys for watching this video.